My name is Robert Hollinger. As Michelle had mentioned and gone through, our Vision 33 have been developing many solutions over the years and helping our customers to identify, gaps and bottlenecks in critical business processes. And the Lumiya solution is among the stack of our Vision 33 IP developed software, including, as Michelle had stated, Saltbox automations, our newest agentic AI copilot engine, as well as our SXP Brutos and Portal technologies. So we're here to support you on that. So one of the items is manual process and status quo. Both of them come at a cost. Companies today that are relying on manual process today create inefficiencies that drive up operating costs and risk falling behind much more tech-enabled competitors. Operational efficiencies include higher error rates, duplicate work, and slower workflows, which of course results in productivity loss. Time-consuming manual tasks decrease employee efficiency and throughput. And what happens is you have limited agility. Manual processes limit a company's ability to respond quickly to change and are at a competitive disadvantage. And there's also missed innovation opportunities. Firms not leveraging technology fail to discover new ways to improve processes. And of course, status quo comes at a cost as well. If a company is standing still in today's rapidly expanding technology tools, then they are not just standing still, they're actually falling behind and risking competitive regression. Whereas those companies that are leveraging and embracing expanded technology tools can improve competitive advantage and drive their business forward. And as your trusted business partner, trusted technology partner, we're here to help you improve your process efficiencies. Okay, so introducing Vision 33 Lumiya solution. Our Lumiya solution is not just a rebrand or an upgrade to iDocuments. It is a totally rebuilt from the ground up with the Azure Artificial Intelligence platform. So it is actually replacing some of the older OCR technology with the more advanced AI technologies. Lumiya is a highly efficient solution and is fully seamlessly integrated with SAP Business One. And this actually is a key differentiator and advantage to the Vision 33 Lumiya product. Many organizations provide solutions that are out there, but they're not integrated seamlessly into SAP Business One like Lumiya. As you can see on the right-hand side of the slide, Lumiya platform includes 3 core modules. We'll be looking at purchasing, sales, and expense.
Great, thanks, Robert. So you may all ask what is included in Lumiya. We will first go through the first 3 modules and the main functionalities, and you can feel free to take your time to read through the bullet points here. First one being purchase to pay. The goal here is to automate your supplier's invoices and to extract the data straight into Business One. It will go through a 3-way matching for PO, goods receipts, and then send the automated approval where the AP invoice is then generated in Business One. And at the end, there will be no more paper trails. It also includes a very strong, powerful dashboard, reports, and mobile app for users for easy access. Moving on to the second module, sales order automation. The sales order will be automatically generated and posted in Business One without any manual data entries. Automated sales order creation is based on PDF of customers' purchase orders. And when it comes to expense claim management, it is designed for your employees to upload receipts on their phone devices, and then it is mostly, we would say, 97% of accuracy for capturing their credit card expenses. And sending for approval, reimbursement, all of that is in one place. I would say a super big advantage of all of these 3 modules that you see is that they are all built to be in sync within Business One out of the box. No integration is needed, and you do not need to have a Business One license in order to use any of these modules for your user. So that also adds to saving a lot of costs there. Okay, let me pass it on to Eve now to show us some action of what Lumiya really looks like.
The expense module is really the ability that you've got for a user to maybe use the system directly from here to create expense reports or to create or to load credit card information. What I can show you right now is I can show you the content of my tablet. Here we go. Coming up in a second. Here it is. All right, so you're looking at my tablet right now. It's a bit dark, but you see I have started an expense report, expense 93844. And it's my monthly report for April, starting at the beginning to the end of April, and that's my header information. So if I click on lines down here, I will be able to see that there are no lines right now. There's nothing on my expense report. And what I would like to do with you guys is I'm going to be using this option right over here, the three dots, to go in and add a line. Now, adding a line to an existing expense report is the ability that I have into the system to say, I have incurred an expense and I need to be reimbursed for it. When did I incur the expense? I was on the 14th of April, for example. Oh, I do have a receipt for it. So look at this little picture icon in here. That's telling me if you click on this, I'm going to allow you to go either to your gallery or using your camera. I'm not sure if it's going to be too close for a picture. And whoops, here it is. All right, here's an invoice. Now the system will say, well, I have just pushed now the invoice over to Lumiya, and that's why I get a confirmation and a green light from here. And now the system says, what type? What type of expense is this? Now you've got some choices here, guys, and I'm going to show you an example. Not necessarily what you're stuck with. That's just an example of how you can use Lumiya for expenses. I can say, hey, for the user, because you're part of my project team, those are the expenses that you can submit. Okay, if you're in sales, it may be different. If you're the CEO of the organization, you might get a different list. But this way, I can actually say, well, let's say, for example, this was a miscellaneous expense, and it was for a new cable for a customer meeting. Okay, that should be good enough. Now I can tell this, I can spell, as you can tell, customer meeting. Yeah, it's good. All right. So what you can also specify is this, my database, by the way, guys, is in US dollars. So by default, it's US currency. Do I need to translate this into a different currency? Was this, so if that's the case, the current exchange rate shows up, and then you can specify what the amount of the expense was. So in this case, it was $80.47. All good. So now I'm just going to go ahead and say, yep, I can submit this. I can save this. Saving this now allows you to say, well, this is actually saved. And I can either come back here, look up my expenses. My expense report right now has one line. So you'll see how the system says that there's a tiny number here right above my arrow. Number one, that's the number of lines I have on my expense report. I'm not going to bore you guys to death with the details, but what I could do just quickly here is go to the lines, add another line, and at this time around, it's going to be a line for an expense. It's going to be for meal, for example, and I'm going to keep it to the date of the 28th. This is going to be, there we go. It's going to be per diem, and I'm going to say lunch, for example. Once again, the same customer meeting. Going quickly here, and I'm just going to give it an amount. I don't have a receipt for this. All right, so it's just something that I'm reporting like this. My configuration of Lumiya may say, oh, Eve, you're claiming expense for a per diem. You must give me a receipt. Okay. And that's what, if I go back to my expense header down here, if I actually click on the three dots, this is what validate would check for me. If I submit, it performs a validation, then it submits this to the server after. And if I say validate only, the system will check and ensure that all the lines that I have entered are as per the rules in my organization. So right now, look at this. Line one is the tax code is missing, and line two, I didn't do a good job here, guys. So let me go back into my lines in this report. Oh, one thing I also want to show you while it's actually coming back here. If I view expenses, that report 93844 is already here. It's in draft mode. If I double click on it, I will see some of the information that I have already captured on my mobile device. Okay, it's in draft mode, so until I actually hit the submit for this, the system is just going to allow me to say, well, coming up in a second here, back on my device. Here we go. If I go to lines, if I go back in here, so there's a little red triangle on it telling me that there's something wrong with this. And I can say, well, the tax rate over here is going to be, I don't want it to be taxable. So I'm just going to make sure exempt. Perfect. That's good. And on the second line as well, just going to go ahead. It's just going to update this. Go back to the second one and the tax rate down here as well. I'm not very patient with this. I'm not giving it the time to refresh. Here we go. And of course, that second line here did not have a type because I didn't key in the per diem correctly, and I can save that now. All right. All I want you guys to see from there is once it's actually all said and done, I can submit this directly from here, and I can confirm, yep, I'd like to submit this. It's a very basic expense report, I have to admit, but once submitted to the server, what will happen is when I come back into expenses and look into view expenses, this one is actually submitted. Well, guess what, guys? If I focus on this expense report right now, guess who needs to approve it? So now you got the drill of how it works. I don't need to go through the whole motion, but now the approver looks it up, approves it, rejects it, explains why it rejects the expense report if need be. And at any point in time, someone can actually look it up from here, view the expense receipts that were provided by the user, and I can clearly see that the second line here did not have a download object or icon. That means there's no receipt for this one. So once again, so the approver can review this. Once satisfied with the content, can simply approve it, and it will make its way to payable to the user. What if you guys are saying, hey, wait a second, we have corporate credit cards. So we're asking users to use a credit card, but they're not going to be reimbursed for the expenses, but they need to actually supply the receipts for them. So what you need to know is on the expense in here, there's also the ability to load a credit card statement. When you do so, you do have the ability to tell the system, this is my monthly statement. And if you look, we're two users on that credit card. Eve is a user and Mike is a user. So Mike has a few expenses and I have one expense. When I hit save, we both get an expense report created, and we both receive an email saying you've got to go back into your expense report and add the receipts or the justification information for your expenses. So that speeds things up greatly for expense management.
Thank you so much, Eve, for the great overview presentation, and thanks for touching on the expense module and sales module too. Just for those of you who are on the call today, if you would like to look deeper into either one of those modules, the sales module or the expense module, just let Michelle and I know, and we can definitely tee up a dedicated demonstration of those modules for you as well. So hopefully Eve was able to demonstrate the value of Lumiya brings by automating this typical manual process within organizations. So let's talk a little bit about the value of Lumiya. As we know, value in business initiatives is typically categorized into two business types or benefit types. There's soft benefits, which is the soft savings and tangible benefits. They improve operations, productivity, scale operations, reduce errors. You can see them on the slide here that's before you. But then there's also the hard benefits, tangible money savings, which directly impact the profit and loss statement.